Podcast.
They're here.
This is the Blood, Gore, and Ghouls podcast, and I'm your host, Ian Van Gool. Welcome to another week of horror movie news, facts, and fun times. Joining me this week is a good friend and my occasional movie theater buddy. How you doing?
I'm great, you.
Great?
You know,
Yeah.
living the dream, excited to do this. So a little
Absolutely.
nervous, but
This is your first podcast.
yes, hopefully I don't stumble over my words.
Nah, you'll be fine. It'll be all good. So there's a few kind of icebreaker questions.
Okay.
Kind of get you into the zone here.
All right, I'm focused.
So what would you say is your favorite horror movie?
You know, I feel like it's so hard to like just pick one, but every time I do get asked that, there's always two that come to mind. It's always The Exorcist because I feel like that's like the first horror film that I've ever watched as a kid that I just like pissed my pants horrified, and I was like, I want that all the time, you know, like
Right.
I was thriving off it. I think I watched it when I was like 5, and obviously it was like after hours whenever I should have been like to bed, and my older sister had it on. So it's either, you know, the original Exorcist or Rosemary Baby. Like I love that movie. I don't know what it is. I think maybe it's the satanic side of it all,
Right.
but I
Oh,
just
yeah.
both of those movies are probably my favorite.
Yeah, very good choices for sure. What's your favorite horror icon?
Oh my gosh, horror icon. I don't know. You know, I do love Leatherface. I don't know if it's the look or, you know, just like the whole aspect of like the chaos of his family, and you
Mhm.
know, you almost feel bad for him, but
Right.
I don't know. I guess I would say Leatherface.
Fair enough. I do love the look of Leatherface for sure.
Right?
So yeah,
He's
I'm
a
down with that.
vibe.
Yeah, for sure. And what would be your favorite kind of horror subgenre? So like paranormal, slasher, vampire, zombie,
Oh, for sure vampire.
vampire.
Yeah.
All right.
It's like, I don't know, like maybe it's because I have the hots for them or something, but like I love like vampire movies.
Fair enough.
Dracula,
Yeah.
it's a romance for me. Like,
Awesome. So there's not a whole lot in the way of news again this week. It is Thanksgiving week. Eli Roth's Thanksgiving is now in theaters. Unfortunately, I haven't had a chance to check it out yet, but it's definitely on my to-do list
okay.
for sure. We do have some interesting remake news as well. So Wes Craven's The People Under the Stairs is getting a remake, which will be penned by Doom Patrol and Night Sky scribe Ezra Clayton Daniels for Universal Pictures and Jordan Peele's Monkey Paw production. Monkey Paw Productions will produce the film with Jordan Peele and Wynn Rosenfeld serving as producers. Projects is still in early development, so as always, I'll keep you all updated when more news is available. So again this week, I have some more horror trivia facts to talk about. So a lot of horror trivia, I've noticed looking into things for each episode, is pretty common knowledge, but you know, at least in the horror community. So I tried to find some interesting ones that, you know, all you listeners and us included may have never heard of or not be familiar with. So we'll go down this list here. So the first one is Scream. So the cast of the iconic 90s slasher almost looked a lot different. Originally, Drew Barrymore was offered the lead role of Sidney Prescott, but she turned it down in favor of taking the character who gets axed in the opening scene. Barrymore felt that the audiences would be shocked by her character's early demise, and she was right.
Honestly, her face is iconic. I see it right now, even as you saying it. Like the short blonde bob, like.
Right.
So honestly, she's spot on that one.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. Other actresses that were then considered for the lead role were Molly Ringwald, Brittany Murphy, and Reese Witherspoon. Eventually, the role went to Party of Five star Nev Campbell, who has portrayed the character in all of the Scream films. So yeah, pretty interesting there. It's I was like hearing
Molly
things
Ringwald,
like this.
though.
Yeah.
I'm trying to picture how she would be in a horror film, honestly.
Yeah, right.
That would be, I feel like it could have been great.
Could have been, yeah. Yeah, I don't know. She'd been a little older.
Yeah.
But yeah, hard to say. But yeah, it is interesting when you hear stuff like that, like trying to picture how it would be with that person in the role.
Even Brittany Murphy, like,
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I love Brittany Murphy, but I don't really see her as an actress for something like that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like she did horror roles and whatnot. She was great at them. But yeah, for Sidney Prescott, that'd be
Yeah, I don't know.
it's a little different.
Maybe it's because like Drew's just burned in my mind for the part at this point, but
Right, right. But yeah, that was for those were for the role of Sydney, Nev Campbell's role.
wow,
So
yeah.
that would have been Molly Ringwald as the lead. Same with Brittany Murphy. So yeah, that would have been interesting.
Yeah, no, that would have been different. I don't know. I'm just trying to see what the vibe would be because for me, Brittany Murphy is like the uptown girl type movie,
Hmm.
not like horror series that has been going on since what, the 90s?
Right, 96. Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, definitely interesting now. And speaking of The Exorcist, actress Jamie Lee Curtis, who was approximately 14 years old at the time, was originally approached to play the role of Regan, the young girl who gets possessed by a demon. But her parents, actors Janet Leigh and Tony Curtis, forbade it from happening. The role went to Linda Blair, and Curtis went on to star in Halloween several years later at the age of 19. So
That's wild.
that would have been a whole other.
Yeah, I would have loved to see that. Even though I feel like the actress that played Reagan was amazing.
Yeah, Linda Blair. Yeah.
Yeah, which I just actually was listening or watching a clip, I guess, just like more fun facts, which I watched like a documentary on the making of The Exorcist. They had like all those crazy things that happened during it, like a few deaths and all that other stuff. And I didn't know, but the girl that played Reagan actually ended up breaking her back during the bed scene.
Yeah.
Um, because I guess like they had her strapped in on basically like wood that would like toss her around, and she got unstrapped and broke her back on it. I was like, holy shit! Like,
yeah, it was. We talked about it on one of the previous episodes, but there's like a whole curse accusation to it. So yeah,
I like want to believe it. I don't know if I do believe
Yeah.
it, but I do like. I feel like weird things happen for a reason, so I'm like, okay, maybe. Like,
right. Yeah, there's
there was a lot
hard
of
to
freak
say.
accidents that went on during the making of it. Like I think there was like 3 or 4 deaths during it and everything. So I don't know.
Yeah, it's hard to say, but it's definitely interesting to look into always. Friday the 13th, the location used in the iconic summer camp slasher film was and still is a functioning scout camp in New Jersey called Camp Nobi Bosco. It was founded in 1927. It's the oldest running scout camp in the state. In the fall of 79, the filmmakers were granted permission to use the grounds during the off season. Today, it's even open for scheduled tours. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, I'm not sure I'd send my kid there, but
Yeah, probably not. But I think going for a tour of it would be pretty rad.
definitely. I actually heard that I don't know. I feel like someone told me that they play the movie like around Halloween time on like almost like a drive-in projector screen size thing where you can go and like set up and watch the movie out by the lake. And I'm like, that'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Definitely
Yeah, I think
tempting.
I heard that too. Yeah, that's pretty cool. It's kind of like the Jaws, watching Jaws out on the water.
I would never.
Yeah, that one's a little sketchy.
No, I don't even like getting in water in the daylight. Like,
yeah, I think it's a cool idea, but yeah, I don't know if I would do that either.
yeah, no, I would literally. It's not even just sharks. I don't know what's down there.
Yeah,
Like Mr. Lagoon's down there,
could be
probably.
Jason.
Like honestly, I don't want to be dragged down under. That's like terrifying.
Absolutely. Halloween. Even though Halloween is set in the fictional town of Haddonfield, Illinois, the iconic slasher flick was actually filmed in Los Angeles, California, mainly in West Hollywood and Pasadena. In order to create the illusion of autumn in sunny LA, the filmmakers dusted each exterior scene with fake leaves. When they had to be painstakingly collected after each shot, hawk-eyed viewers might even spot palm trees in the background of several shots.
I kind of want to rewatch this now and try to find these
Find
palm
the palm
trees.
trees?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
I never knew that.
Movie magic. Let's see here. Paranormal Activity. Before the independent horror film Paranormal Activity was released in theaters, Paramount, the studio that picked up the movie, tossed around the idea of remaking it with well-known stars, but it was the suggestion of Steven Spielberg that swayed them to keep it as is. The story goes that the famed director had screened a copy of the film one night, but was so terrified that he had to pause the movie and finish watching it during the day. He persuaded the studio to release the film as it was because the unknown actors added to the believability of the film. As it turns out, he was right. Paranormal Activity spawned 5 sequels, and it's now one of the highest-grossing horror franchises in history. So yeah, I'm with him.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. Whenever you have well-known actors, I feel like sometimes it's hard to dissociate them from like their past roles.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
So, especially with something like that, I feel like it's definitely way better to have someone that like you've never seen before because it's way more believable that this is like them as a person rather
Right,
than
it's
like
actually happening.
yeah, like
Yeah.
I'm not associating it with someone's past role or something. So
Right.
I definitely think that was a awesome move. And I know personally watching those movies, I get spooked all the time, and then I'm turning off the lights and jumping to the bed because I don't know
Mhm.
what's coming at me. Like
Yeah, right. But yeah, definitely a good call there. Yeah, I agree. To make it with those actors and then remake it because they're not well known is kind of fucked up.
yeah,
And yeah, it wouldn't have the same effect at all.
no, it would have been a
So
waste too. I feel like of time.
definitely, yeah. Poltergeist. So a young Drew Barrymore auditioned for the role of Carol Ann, but producer Steven Spielberg didn't think she was right for the particular part. He did, however, fall in love with the young star and kept her in mind when it came to the cast E.T. shortly thereafter. So that's another one that would be interesting, having Drew Barrymore as Carol
Yeah,
Ann.
yeah. I mean, I feel like, gosh, I keep on forgetting that she was like a child star. I
Oh
think she
yeah.
would have probably killed it.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Yeah.
I'm also a little biased. I love Drew, so
True. But yeah, I mean, yeah, she would have been great, but yeah.
I feel like she could have been a really great creepy kid.
hmm Yeah, I mean, she's like what fire starter.
Yeah.
Yeah, E.T. So yeah, she definitely would have been done a great job, but I think Heather O'Rourke did a great job as well. So
True.
no loss there.
No.
Nightmare on Elm Street. The main house used as Nancy's home in Nightmare on Elm Street is actually comprised of a few different locations. The exterior shots use a house located in West Hollywood, not far from the houses used in another horror classic, Halloween. The interior comprised of a few different locations, and some scenes were even shot on the very same soundstage used for beloved TV series I Love Lucy.
Oh.
Right?
Okay, that's different. I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah.
I love Lucy.
Yeah, I was aware of different locations and whatnot, 'cause that's typical. But yeah, to be the same sound stage as I Love Lucy was pretty
Yeah.
interesting.
Hmm.
Saw. Due to the film's ultra low budget, producers had to get clever when it came down to crafting particular effects for the movie. In one scene, real life pig guts were used to portray someone's intestines.
I kind of hate that. I mean, it's probably a way more realistic
hmm
because it's real.
Right.
But like, could you imagine having to be the person to play in the pig gut?
Yeah.
I mean,
I'd imagine it was probably Shawnee Smith when she's digging for her key to her reverse bear trap.
probably. Oh yeah, you're
I'd assume
right.
that's the scene, but
Yeah.
it doesn't say for
Oh,
sure. But I would assume. But yeah,
poor pig.
real poor pig, poor pig. True, but I mean they didn't kill the pig for the scene,
Right,
so
right.
a little different. But yeah, regardless,
That's crazy though. I don't know how I'd feel about having to like play with the innards of a pig,
yeah,
especially like freehanding it.
just just getting all in there,
Yep.
elbows
Just raw
deep.
dog.
Yep, straight in the guts. So the Blair Witch Project was a small independent movie that was produced for $60,000 and wound up grossing $248 million at the global box office when it was released in the summer of '99. Those are some serious profits. So how much did the stars of the found footage horror film actually get paid? So the three main actors, who are Heather Donahue, Joshua Leonard, and Michael C. Williams, were paid $1,000 for the initial production, which
God.
consisted of a 6-day shoot in a wooded area of a Maryland state park. According to Donahue, the film's female lead, after the unexpected box office success, she hoped for a check, but instead the studio just sent me a fruit basket.
Stop. I'd be so pissed.
Yeah, right? Like, that sucked.
I mean, honestly though, like that's one movie I never could get into.
mhm.
But I kept getting the dizzies. Like it was really
Yeah,
hard to watch.
it is hard to watch.
But I get like the aspect of it being scary because it's like the unknown of what's to happen next. But I would be so pissed to know that I got $1,000 in a fruit basket and it made almost what, 250 million. You
Yeah,
said?
yeah, yeah. It was super successful. Yeah, it's another one that it had to be like unknown actors.
They
for-
probably had to have signed something before starting the filming
Mhm.
and like stating that they weren't going to get any of the profits.
Right.
Because I feel like
Yeah.
otherwise they could have sued or something. But so there's
Yeah, I think that's kind of typical of how the studios work. Either I don't know how it would work for like low budget like that, but yeah, it'd be like you either get paid a check beforehand, or you can opt in for a
Fruit basket.
Yeah, fruit basket for a percentage of the proceeds, or like of the
Yeah. Oh my
what it
God. I'd be
makes.
so livid.
Yeah, that
Especially
sucks.
because like that's the kind of role. It's not that like I know a lot of people love that movie, but it's not like any of those roles are gonna get them another role.
Yeah, right.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I
Like
don't.
it's not like it's some kind of incredible acting and
Mhm,
like it's opening them up for other opportunities.
right.
That was that.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I'm sure they've been in other things, but I couldn't tell you another movie that any of them have been in.
No.
Yeah. So yeah, that sucks for sure.
Yeah, because a fruit basket lasts maybe a week. I'd
Yeah,
give it away to my parents probably.
yeah, yeah. I'm not a fruit basket kind of person.
No, like there's better be some like really expensive pears, you know?
Gold-plated pears.
Exactly.
So since the release of The Conjuring in 2013, the supernatural horror film has spawned several sequels and spin-offs, which now make up the so-called Conjuring universe. But the film almost had a different title altogether, The Warren Files. After filming wrapped, the studio bestowed the current Conjuring title. Thank God.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like the movie would have been too much about them than the
Mhm.
actual like possessions and
Yeah, right.
I feel like it would have taken away a lot of the horror part out
Mhm.
of it. At that point, might as well make a documentary. Like
Yeah. It's, I don't know, The Warren Files sounds like a true crime
it
or
makes me think of
something.
X-Files,
Yeah,
honestly.
right.
I'm not
Yeah,
a
and I mean,
fan.
yeah, we just had a whole episode about the Warrens last week. So yeah, it's the movies. I love the movies, but
Oh yeah, the movies are
to
awesome.
call it the Warren Files is giving a little too much credit to
Yeah,
them.
it's not just
So
about them. They're
right,
just like I feel like they're like the side piece to the main part of the
right,
story, which is like the possessions and
yeah,
stuff.
the
So
scares
yeah,
for sure. So yeah, yeah, the Warren Files. I would probably already dislike it
yeah. No, I
just for
feel
the
that.
title. So yeah, great job on changing it to The Conjuring.
Right?
So before Jodie Foster was tapped to play the role of FBI trainee Clarice Starling in The Silence of the Lambs,
Mm.
Meg Ryan, Michelle Pfeiffer, and Laura Dern were all offered the role. It all turned out for the best, however, as Foster won an Academy Award for her portrayal.
Honestly, great movie. She did
Right?
awesome.
Yeah.
I can't even imagine Meg Ryan as
Right?
Clarice.
Yeah.
It wouldn't. I don't know. I couldn't. I feel like I wouldn't be able to see it. Same thing. I
Mhm.
don't think I could disassociate her from other movies.
hmm
So I think it's way better to like go with someone that's the less known.
Right. Right. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. It's one of those things like in '91, like we weren't. I mean, Meg Ryan was kind of a big name. Michelle Pfeiffer was on her way. Laura Dern. I I don't really know anything before Jurassic Park that she was in.
Yeah.
So I mean they were all kind of new to the scene. But yeah, I'm not the biggest Jodie Foster fan, but in that movie she's fucking amazing.
Yeah, she did great. She has a
So
very serious face, and I feel like the whole movie she's serious.
yeah,
So
right.
like, I mean, you can't go wrong with that.
So yeah, I feel again it's one of those like it's weird to picture anyone else in that role.
Yeah, and
But
maybe it's because it's like one of those movies that like really did just hit, and like everything about it was done really well. It was written well. It was directed well. The
mhm.
actors, hit it on the nail whenever it comes to characters. So like maybe it's too hard to try to even picture someone else in that part because it was done so well. But uh, there's nothing I would change about it.
No, absolutely. So, with a box office intake of over $700 million, the $35 million Stephen King adaptation of It is the highest grossing horror movie in history. Combined with Chapter 2, oh my God. Combined with Chapter 2's 437 million box office tally, the It saga is one of only a few horror franchises to cross the coveted $1 billion mark.
That's impressive.
Right?
Also, not shocking though. I feel like it definitely was amazing.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's,
No, we're talking about the old It, right?
no,
The new It.
Chapters 1 and 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, even the old one, because that was a show technically. Or
Yeah, the
something
old
like
one was
that.
a miniseries, so it wouldn't have
I
really
watched
had
it
a
out
box
like a
office or
movie. It was
anything.
like
Oh
5
yeah,
hours long.
yeah,
I felt like, but it was so good.
yeah. No, this is chapters 1 and 2. So
Yeah, no. I mean, I'm not even surprised because of how well the show it was and how scary it was to have
mhm.
it set up for the new movie. I feel like it already had such a good name, so like they were going in strong already.
Oh yeah, yep. And Bill Skarsgård's Pennywise is fucking amazing. So
Oh, yeah. Honestly, like whenever I saw what he looked like at first, I was like, that's gonna be Pennywise,
mhm.
But then seeing him, I'm like, this guy's creepy. And I
Yeah,
don't know if you
right?
ever watched his take for, oh my gosh, what's the word I'm looking for whenever he's like,
Audition.
yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
audition, like I watched like him talking about how he was getting ready for his audition, and he literally like the first day he went, he didn't have any clown makeup on. They asked him to come back for a second like audition or
Mhm.
whatever. He came in full face. He said about how he was like walking to the audition and like he was just practicing his laugh up the street with his clown makeup, saying like he probably looked really freaky. And I'm like, I can only imagine because that laugh is like in my brain now.
Oh,
Like I
yeah.
will never not hear
Yep.
his laugh for it.
Yeah. No, he did a fantastic job. I love Tim Curry, but I think his Pennywise is my favorite for sure.
Oh yeah, he
So,
did fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Rosemary's Baby. So, actor Robert Redford was originally pegged to play the role of Rosemary's husband, but due to scheduling conflicts, he was unable to take on the commitment. Jack Nicholson then screen tested for the role, but eventually went to John Cassavetes. So, that'd be another, like, just weird.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Nicholas does great in horror films, I feel like.
Oh,
But
absolutely. But yeah, for him to be
the
in that
husband,
role, yeah.
yeah, I
it'd
don't
be
know.
Very strange.
It would definitely be a different vibe from anything he's ever done.
Hmm.
So, I don't know. Now I'm like trying to picture it, but
Yeah, I don't know.
I
For
love that whole
either of
movie. It's
those-
like perfect.
Right.
And
Yeah,
I feel
think
like
it
her
works.
husband, what's the actor's
John
name?
Cassavetes.
Yeah, I feel like he just has like the right presence
Right.
of like the guy for that role.
Hmm.
That I don't think I could see Jack Nicklaus doing it.
Yeah. Or Robert Redford, really. Because
Yeah.
I feel like they're both like very, like, when they're on screen, they're like, that's what you pay attention to.
Right.
Whereas Cassavetes, he played it very well that he wasn't overshadowing Mia Farrow.
Yeah, exactly.
So,
And he
yeah, I
had
think
like
that was
he brought like a really good arrogance to it.
Oh,
Like
yeah,
you're just like,
absolutely.
wow, this man, like,
Guy's fucked up.
yeah, like gaslighting 100.
Oh, yeah, 100%. So in 2015, George Romero found 9 minutes of lost footage from Night of the Living Dead. So while he was in Maryland for Monster Mania Con in 2015, George Romero revealed that he had unearthed a 16mm work print of Night of the Living Dead, which featured approximately 9 minutes of previously thought to be lost footage at the jump cut in the basement, including, quote, the largest zombie scene in the film.
That's mind blowing.
Right?
How do you lose 9 minutes?
Do they do that shit all the time?
Really?
Well, I mean, probably not now because it's all like digital and shit. But yeah, back in the day.
Oh my god, I'd be so pissed, especially if it's like the largest zombie. Like the whole movie's about zombies.
Yeah.
How do you lose the biggest scene?
Well, I think like he probably he cut it from the initial movie,
Yeah.
but like they only worked with film, so like he cut that section of the film and then it just got like
Oops.
lost, misplaced, whatever. So yeah, like it's always
Oh.
interesting when they find things like that from like older movies.
Man, I'd kill to see that 9
I know,
minutes.
like now that it's found, like where's our new edition with 9
Right.
extra minutes?
Right, like you know how you can buy Lord of the Rings the extended.
Mhm,
Why can't
yeah.
we buy this?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I have not heard of any different cut with 9 extra minutes. So what's up with that?
All right, I'm writing letters.
Yeah.
Who do I got to mail this
strongly
to?
worded emails. Our last one here, a double amputee was used to create the Thing's quintessential special effect. So one of the most memorable scenes in John Carpenter's The Thing occurs when Dr. Copper attempts to revive Norris with a defibrillator. As he presses the paddles on the patient's chest, Norris' chest opens up and Copper's forearms disappear into the cavity when they're severed below the elbow by a set of jaws inside Norris's chest. So in order to pull this off, special makeup effects designer Rob Bottin found a man who had lost both of his arms below the elbow in an industrial accident. Bottin fit the man with 2 prosthetic forearms consisting of wax bones, rubber veins, and jello. Then for the wide-angle shot, he fit the man with a skin-like mask taken from a mold of the actor's face and placed the arms into the chest cavity where a set of mechanical jaws clamped down on them. As the actor pulled his arms away, the jello arms severed below the elbows. The rest is practical effects history. So you remember that scene from The Thing? It's
Yeah.
like the probably the most famous scene. So yeah, it wasn't the main actor. It was a
An
kind of
amputee.
stand-in. Yeah, but he was amputee. So
I don't know how I feel about that, especially like if I was the main actor and getting my face made into a mold for someone else
Yeah,
to be me.
right.
I feel like that would just freak me out a little bit.
a little bit. But yeah, I always find that stuff really interesting as well. But yeah,
Yeah.
like how they do certain practical effects and
Especially back then. Like, that's honestly really impressive
Mhm.
to, like, do all that work to get it to look as good as it was.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I before that I wasn't sure how they did it, but that was not what I thought at all.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely interesting.
That's, I mean, fun facts, man.
Yeah, there you go. That's our fun facts for today.
Those are good.
Yeah, like I said, it's when I try to look up new ones and different ones, and it's always the same stuff. Like Michael Myers' mask is William Shatner's face, and all the kind of basic knowledge at this point in the horror community. So yeah, the fact I was able to find some new ones was interesting, or was pretty cool.
Yeah. No, I enjoyed those, definitely. And it's funny that I mentioned a couple of those movies that you already like brought up, like the Rosemary Baby
yeah,
and stuff.
right.
I'm like, I love these
That
fun
works
facts. I
out.
needed this.
That worked out. So this week, we're going to talk about our favorite female characters in horror. We'll be talking about final girls, scream queens, survivors, victims, and killers, and which ones we personally enjoy the most. We can go back and forth on our favorites, and I do have a list from movieweb.com that lists what they think is the most empowering women in horror. So we can go over that list and see how we feel about each of those picks as well.
Awesome.
So yeah, we can just kind of just go back and forth and what are some of our favorites.
Okay, I love that idea.
Awesome. You want to go first?
Sure.
All right.
All right, let's see here. Well, I'm going to say Baby from House of a Thousand Corpses. I love her. I love her chaos.
Mm-hmm.
How weird she is. She's just like so out there.
Yeah,
she's just like balls to walls, like nothing's up, like nothing's going on up there. I feel like
Right.
like she's so badass, but like she just like has no boundaries.
No, not at all.
No. I don't know. That's like one of my oldest movies that I used to be into, and I just watched her. I'm like, how I understand now whenever like you hear about like the crazy girls, because I'm like, man, she's really hot, but she's like like she's
completely
gonna
nuts.
kill the shit out of me and then eat
Oh, yeah.
me. Like
Yeah, for sure.
no. Even that whole family is pretty crazy. Like the mother on
yeah.
that.
They're all- yeah.
Definitely a huge fan though. That I would say she's one of my top people that I just think is awesome in a horror film when it comes to
Absolutely,
women.
Yeah, she's on my list as well.
Is she?
Which so is it from House of Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, or Three
I'm
from
gonna
Hell?
say, I mean, Devil's Reject. She's probably the most badass in,
Mhm.
but House of a Thousand Corpses is like the first one in the series, and I think that's what like reeled me in because I'm just like she's a nutcase.
Oh yeah.
Like just like her like wanting to toy with like it's like her playing with her food almost like during the scene at the house and stuff. I'm
Right.
like she's crazy. I don't know, something about her chaos drew me in.
Mhm. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I'm a big fan of her in that movie. I do like I really enjoy her in House of Thousand Corpses.
Okay,
But she does kind of toe the line of annoying sometimes.
I can see that.
So I put her down for Devil's Rejects
Okay.
because she still has that kind of fun, quote unquote,
Yes.
to her, but she is way more brutal. So I think I like her more in Devil's Rejects.
I feel like she definitely has more of like a role in Devil's Reject.
Mhm.
Like she definitely plays a larger part. And I definitely can understand the annoying aspect because she's just so over the top.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
I think that's what, to me, like whenever I'm seeing like an annoying, crazy killer, I'm like, okay, it makes sense.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. No, it's not any negative thing. I like the kind of progression from the first movie to the second movie.
yeah, no, I see what you're completely. Honestly, when I first had watched Devil's Reject, I didn't even realize it was like the prequel or like the
sequel.
yeah, like
yeah.
Runoff of the Thousand Corpses. Like, because it just didn't click. Like, same characters, yes, but like the story was just like.
Yes, it's a whole other vibe.
Yeah, like it hopped. Like, where's the house? Like,
Yeah.
like where's the crazy house?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's not really explained or anything. It's just like it's a whole
like,
other vibe. But
yeah,
I
I'm
love
like
it.
they're living a whole other life. Like
Yeah.
in this movie. Like what's up?
Yep. So yeah, mine. Let's see. Like I said, I had Baby on there. What do I got? Let's say Grace, played by Samara Weaving in Ready or Not.
Okay.
You've seen Ready or Not?
I don't know if I have. I feel like maybe I have, but I'm not sure.
So it's like she's the fiance of some dude, and he takes her to his like family's mansion.
Okay.
So like for to get married, and they have this thing that everyone that's gonna get married, they have to play a game.
Oh, okay. I wanted to watch this. I didn't get to yet.
Okay, all right.
Or maybe I did, and I only watched the first half or something. But like, I wanted to watch it, and like the groom like looked sad, right? Like bummed because he really didn't want her to die.
Yeah. So yeah, it's there's different games, but yeah, it says she chooses Ready or Not.
Yeah.
And or hide and seek.
Man, I'm gonna have to watch this now because like I feel like either I saw a clip or something. And I was like, this looks killer. Like
yeah, there's quite a few twists and turns to it, and the ending is not what it's just kind of is a very shocking type ending. Like you wouldn't expect it.
Now I'm dying. I need to watch this.
So yeah, but yeah, I really like. I mean, I love Samara Weaving. And
Okay.
I love that she's like starting to be in more horror stuff. Because she was in like The Babysitter on Netflix.
Oh yeah, I
those
like
movies.
The Babysitter.
And then she was in Scream 6, the beginning of that. So yeah, I would say Grace because she just kind of starts as like the kind of normal, everyday person and has to go through some fucked up shit.
Yeah, could you imagine marrying into a family like that, right? Thinking you hit the jackpot.
Yeah, right.
They got this like castle of a house.
There's always a catch.
Yeah, and then you're there to die.
Yep.
Like the hell?
Yep.
I feel like I pulled the short stick on that one. I'm gonna stick to the same theme I was going with the crazy Pearl.
Okay.
From Pearl.
Yeah.
I loved her part. Like, I love the fact that she's like an ex-Christian, just like going off the rail because like she's like doing everything, against her daddy. And she's just like a psycho to be famous, pretty much. Like, like they're like there to make porn and stuff, and then you have like the grandmother that gets unhinged, which also she's an awesome character in the movie. A little scary to look at, but yeah, I'd say Pearl just because she's a nutcase.
So yeah, I don't have Pearl, but I have Maxine.
Okay.
From X. So
okay.
But Mia Goth in Pearl is fantastic.
Yeah.
But the character itself, I don't know.
Oh
I was
my gosh,
hoping
I'm totally mixing the two up right now. I was thinking of X with the grandmother and stuff. Yeah.
Okay, so that is
yes.
Pearl.
Yeah.
But then the Pearl is the prequel to X.
Right.
So
where she goes psycho with the axe or whatever.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it's it's Mia Goth in all of it. So
when I see that guy walk on the nail, I'm just gonna put that out there. It makes me want to like barf every time. It just hurts my foot.
But yeah, so yeah, Maxine is mine. Because yeah, she's like definitely just like a normal, like, I mean, she's a wannabe porn star, but like she's just like a normal person just there to live her life and then has to deal with
70s
all this crazy shit.
Yeah. I just love that she's like, fuck this old lady. Like,
oh yeah. Yep. For sure. What's your next one?
Let's see here. A classic Tiffany Valentine.
Oh, I should have put her on my list and I did not.
I mean, she's awesome. She's crazy. Like she's like badass. Like whenever it comes to like Chucky, Hocus is really taking over my spotlight right now.
If you hear the dog in the background, that's just Hocus.
She just wants attention.
Yeah.
She's not getting hurt. I just love how crazy Tiffany is, and she's just like a ride or die for her dude, like through and through. Yeah. I love her.
Yeah, and there's no better person to play her than Jennifer Tilly.
Literally, like the greatest woman ever for that part.
Right? But yeah, I meant to put her on my list, and then I completely forgot.
It's all right. I covered you.
She's definitely up there for sure. So my next one would be, I feel like she's not unknown, but she's overlooked when it comes to like Final Girls or I don't know, we'll say Final Girl because that's what she is, but Ripley from Alien.
Oh, okay. I guess I see. I don't watch a whole lot of the like supernatural, like when it comes to the alien stuff. Like
Mhm.
I've watched it, but if like it's been so long that
Right.
yeah, I can't even think of what kind of role she plays for that.
Yeah, I mean she's another one just kind of starts out as she's just doing her job and then she's thrown into this
And she just kills it.
crazy this crazy stuff and everyone dies except Ripley.
I
She
mean,
takes
we
care of
love a
business.
badass lady who survives in the end.
Yeah,
Like,
right. For sure, yeah. But yeah, Ripley is badass and a awesome character.
so another one for me would be Rosemary from Rosemary's Baby.
Okay, yeah.
I have her on my list. I love she's just like a kind soul that you would think would just die at the end of it,
Mhm.
because, she's just seems helpless and
Right,
then
yeah.
she ends up, being pretty badass
Yeah.
when it comes to everything said and done. Let's
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, she's against it all in that movie.
literally, I like if I end up having to have some kind of sex orgy for the devil, like I feel like I'd be a little fucked.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's not a good situation to be in for anyone.
No, not at all. Um, I have Esther from The Orphan.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I think honestly, and it's crazy because it's based off of a true story too. There was this woman, granted, like she wasn't some psycho killer or anything, but like there was a woman who was like an adult, but she like had some kind of disease that made
Mhm.
her look like a child, and she
Right.
was like from Russia or whatever. But I just think it's crazy how like she played this part, like Esther or
Mhm.
whatever, as this young orphan, and like ended up being some psycho.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that's a wild movie.
Yeah, that threw me off
Right?
a little bit. I was pissed at this little girl. I was like, can she die already? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it was started as a creepy kid and turned into so much more.
literally.
Right? So yeah, my next one is Alice from Resident Evil.
Ah,
From the first one.
that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a really good one. I didn't even think of that one.
Yeah.
I
'Cause
love
yeah,
Resident Evil.
those movies get a little crazy, a little
They,
ridiculous,
they
but the
do.
first movie is still pretty good.
I watch it
Yeah.
from time to time just for shits and giggles.
Right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it still hits.
and Alice is badass in that.
She,
Before she gets all like super powery and shit.
yeah, she is very badass.
So yeah.
And the outfit.
Oh yeah. It's iconic.
Yeah, it really is. I feel like I want to wear that on a regular basis. I just don't think I could pull it off.
Give it a try.
Right?
See what happens.
So I also put Gong Li down from Hannibal Rising.
Oh, okay.
So I just think she's such a cool. She has like the whole like sword, and she just seems really badass, and she like supports Hannibal. I just think she's such hokey girl. I just think she's such like a badass.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, she's not a victim.
It's been a while since
ever.
I watched that, but yeah.
Oh, I love that one. I don't know what it is about it, but I love it.
Hell yeah. Let's see. So I got like my top 3, I guess, at this point. So we'll go with so Laurie Strode. So obviously, like Jamie Lee Curtis is iconic for it, and I do like her in the original Halloween.
Yeah.
I've got feelings on Jamie Lee Curtis that
Uh-oh.
I'm not the biggest fan, but I want to say though also, so it's just the character of Laurie Strode.
Mm-hmm.
So I love Jamie Lee Curtis in the original, but I really enjoy Scout Taylor Compton in Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Okay.
So like regardless of how you feel about the movies themselves, I think she did a really, really good job in the role.
Yeah,
and like
no, she
between
did.
both movies, like she goes from just like a normal teenager, and kind of has to deal with all this trauma. And then I really enjoyed her performance in the second movie, with dealing with all the PTSD and like, being just fucked up over it. So I really enjoyed that one.
That's something I don't think I would have thought of, because I don't like particularly like whenever I'm gonna watch Halloween, Rob Zombie's versions aren't typically my first pick. But no,
right.
she did a really good job in that one.
For sure. What's your next one here?
All right, let's see here. This is kind of a funny one,
Okay.
but Leech Woman from Puppet Master.
Hell yeah! All right.
I just think she's so cool. Like I can't like the whole series is great, but she's just like one of the only women on the team, and she's just
Mhm.
like barfing up bleaches the whole time.
Yeah.
Something about her character I just really enjoy.
No, for sure. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, outside of Blade, she's probably my next favorite.
Yeah, I love
It's just ridiculous, but
the whole series is fantastic. Like
mhm.
it's so underrated, like for a B-rated like
Oh yeah.
horror flick.
Yep.
I love those kinds.
They're a fun time. Yeah, some of the movies might not be good movies, but they're
Right.
always a fun time for
I
sure.
mean, any B-rated movie's not really good, but
Right.
they hit the spot.
I don't know. I think the first movie I think still holds up though.
Yeah.
It's been a minute since I watched it though, so.
I feel like with any series though, after 5, you probably should just cut it.
Right. Yeah. I
Like
don't know,
10's too many. You doubled it. Like
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure there's like 10 in the puppet. Even
Oh,
Saw.
there is, yeah.
I mean,
Puppet Master, yeah.
Saw has what, 8 or 9?
No, Saw's 10. Saw
10.
X.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Yeah, you're right. We were just talking about that.
Mhm.
Yeah, too many. Like
Too many.
It gets repetitive.
Too many, but keep making them. Let's go.
Right?
So my number 2 is Erin from You're Next. So she kind of goes back and forth in the number 1 spot to number 2 spot.
Okay.
But yeah, I've loved her character ever since the first time I saw You're Next.
Yeah.
And it's another one where she's what you think is just like a normal person, and then she's put in this kind of crazy situation, and she goes above and beyond, and it's just a really good time.
Yeah, just comes out in survivor mode.
Right? Yeah.
Kicking ass, taking
Yep.
names.
Absolutely.
All right, let's see what else I got here. Oh, Reagan, of course.
Oh yeah.
You know, I can't get away from my favorite movies, honestly, but Reagan, I just think she's like the whole her being possessed, like I just thought she was so wild, like the pea soup getting puked
Mhm.
out, like it's like forever in my brain. Like
Oh yeah.
I think the whole character was really cool. Like I don't know. It's the movie for me, honestly, but she just killed it. Like
Mhm.
she brought like everything creepy, but she came out like I don't know. Honestly, I never hated a little girl so hard. Like I was like, oh my god, this girl is unwell.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's it kind of goes hand in hand with my top choice, but yeah, it's like she's both the villain and the final girl and
And the victim, like
yeah,
she's all
she's
of
all
it.
of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, Reagan's a great choice
Yeah.
for sure. So yeah, my number 1 then is Mia from Evil Dead 2013. Kind
Oh.
of same thing. Like
Yeah.
she's a victim. She becomes the villain, and then kind of survives through it, gets through it, and is
Yeah.
then the final girl. And I love Jane Levy. I think she did a great job in the movie. And yeah, Mia's just like they go there because she's like a junkie trying
Yeah.
to get clean. So like she's already dealing with shit.
And it's already setting you up to feel some type of way about her too
Mhm.
for the movie.
Right, yeah. So yeah, not only is she dealing with like real life things, but then she has to deal with possession, like demonic possession,
Right?
and then get through that, and all while killing her friends.
Yeah, I don't know how I would handle myself in that
Yeah.
situation. So
It's a lot.
I don't know if I'd just roll over and be like, all right, this is the end.
This is it. We're done now. That's it.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work out for me, but
Yeah.
she definitely played all 3 spots, the victim, the bad guy, the
Mhm.
person that's like victorious really
Right,
well.
yeah. Absolutely. You
Yeah.
got any others?
Let me see. I think there was one more I had here. Oh, yeah, I put Mina from Dracula. I know Dracula is not super horror, but like I love Mina in that movie.
It's classic horror.
It is
It is
classic.
horror.
Yeah, I know. Like
100%.
I was like, I'm gonna bring it up anyways, but I love Mina. I mean, I also love her girlfriend in the movie as well because she's just so loopy. But Mina,
True, yeah.
Mina's my girl. Like she's great.
Hell yeah. So yeah, that's our favorites. And like I said, we'll check out this article here from movieweb.com. But yeah, it's the most empowering women horror characters, and I'm sure there's probably quite a few on here that we've listed already.
I'll be excited to hear it.
But yeah, they have their top 15. So 15 is Lorraine Warren from The Conjuring 2,
Okay.
which Vera Farmiga, I think she does a fantastic job in the role.
Yeah.
Not the biggest fan of Lorraine Warren in real life, but in the movies,
Yeah.
fantastic.
I'm honestly not surprised she's on this list because I feel like she is like in the movies a very badass, strong
Mhm.
woman.
Yeah,
So like it makes sense for her to be on this list.
absolutely. Yeah. So this article says even though Ed and Lorraine Warren are seen working together throughout the Conjuring film series, in this particular film, Lorraine seems to be overshadowing Ed. Played by Vera Farmiga, Lorraine Warren seems to be one of the biggest targets of the nun, who is a demonic figure. Lorraine is shown visions of Ed dying, and thus she makes it her goal to protect him. This comes off as a reversal of role, as generally it is the man who is seen protecting the woman. The film ends with Lorraine being one to defeat the demon by stating its name, Valak, which results in it being condemned back to hell. Thus, Lorraine becomes the hero of the movie.
We love a woman hero.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's kind of why I wanted to kind of do this topic at some point. Is like I feel like it's probably changing now, but I feel like the overall like idea of like women in horror movies, it still has like that 80s stigma to it. So it's like they're
Yes.
just there
Damsel in
to be
distress.
and be naked, and
Yeah, to
they
show a
don't really
boob here
bring
and
they
there.
didn't really bring much to the table. So yeah, I wanted to like kind of shine a light and be like, hey, there's a lot of badass women in horror movies, and they've been there for a while. Bless you. So number 14 is Tree from Happy Death Day. So the black comedy slasher film by Christopher Landon follows the story of a university student named Teresa Tree Gelbman, who ends up in a time loop where she's killed by a mass killer each time. Tree keeps encountering her death over and over until she figures out her murderer and gets them first before she's killed. So have you seen Happy Death Day?
I haven't.
Okay. I won't go too deep into the article then. But yeah, it's Groundhog Day,
Oh God.
but horror comedy.
Okay.
It's pretty good.
I mean,
There's two of them.
I'm gonna have to watch it now.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's a good time.
I feel like just even thinking about having to repeat the same day every day would be horrifying.
Right. Yeah, but this one she's just getting killed every day.
Time.
Yep.
Well, hopefully I'm gonna have to watch it, but hopefully she figures out how not to die.
Yeah. She does, and then there's a sequel.
Oh, I do love this one coming up. Sorry.
You're good. So number 13 is Thomasin from The Witch. So Robert Eggers' folk horror movie The Witch takes place in the 1630s in New England, focuses on a family who was banished from a Puritan community due to a religious dispute. Thomasin, played by Anya Taylor-Joy, the oldest daughter of the family, is introduced as an innocent child who's being abused by her mother while her father turns a blind eye to it. We see that Thomasin is constantly the target of many scoldings, with her parents even going to the extent of accusing her of doing witchcraft. After many waves of abuse, Thomasin finally ends up killing her own mother in an act of self-defense and taking over the authority. The fact that the character who is oppressed ends up being one powerful witch who was able to free herself from her oppressors makes her an empowering figure. So yeah, that movie, yeah,
I love
she's
that
just
movie.
like, she has to go through a bunch of shit in that movie.
Yeah, she really
It's terrible.
does. And honestly, I didn't even think about that whenever thinking of my list, but that's a really good pick.
Yeah,
I love
for
that
sure,
movie.
yeah. Absolutely, yeah. So 12.
Love this one.
12, Jennifer's Body. So Jennifer, played by Megan Fox, in Jennifer's Body, enters this list as a character who represents the breaking of the, quote, victimized woman stereotype, and instead contributes to the reversal of roles where she's the villain who hunts and murders the men. But yeah, what's interesting about this character is her villain story.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this one's cool, and it is a kind of reversal role. But yeah, this is one that I really like the movie, and I like the idea, and I like the characters and the acting, and I hate the script.
Okay.
So fucking like, the dialogue is just so cringy.
Yeah, but also nothing against Megan Fox, she's a babe, but I can't see her in a movie like this. I know she's the main role, and I know people love her because she's like has the look, but I just can't. I don't know. I can't get with it. I don't see her as horror when I look at her.
Right. No, I actually like her. I like her a lot in this movie.
Yeah.
I think she does a great job. But yeah, I mean, it's all in.
I think it's just one of those things where like I can't. It's like what I've been saying a couple times before. There's sometimes like whenever I see a person play a role in a movie, I can't not see them as that.
Yeah.
And she's done so many like kitty type movies,
right?
That like I can't see her as like this role,
right? If she's not fighting
and
giant
fully
robots.
be invested in it, you know exactly. Like I'm thinking Transformers here, like.
Yeah, no, I get it. Makes sense. 11 is Grace from Ready or Not, which we talked about already.
Yes.
Number 10 is Aaron from Your Next, which we talked about already. Number 9 is Mia from Evil Dead 2013.
Hey, we got good picks here.
Right? Number 8, Carrie White from
I
Carrie.
almost was gonna do Carrie.
Yeah.
Almost, but I was like, that's too. I already had too many that I felt like were, your stereotypical like favorites.
Mhm.
But I do love Carrie. I love the old one and the new one. I thought they killed it in both.
Fair enough. I prefer the original, but regardless.
Yeah.
So the original film adaptation of Stephen King's 1974 novel of the same name, Carrie features Sissy Spacek as the main protagonist. You get another film about a young girl who was oppressed by her mother, but ends up wielding her power and freeing herself from the restraints. But yeah, that's another fantastic female character and role.
Honestly, I never felt so relieved to see so many people die too in that movie.
Oh, I know, right? Just the worst people.
Yeah, I'm like, please burn them all down.
The worst.
Like, get rid of them. Like,
yeah, it's just another.
like I felt good for the bad guy.
Oh yeah, I wouldn't even say she's a bad guy.
No, she just hit her. She hit her point. She stood up for herself, and
yeah,
I
you can only be like kick so long.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I feel for the innocent people. Put it that way.
Yeah.
But the people that egged it on and
Yeah.
I don't feel so bad for.
Not at all.
And her mom. Ugh,
Yeah, her mom was terrible.
it's just another example of religion fucking you up.
Right? The nicest people you ever meet, right?
Oh yes, the nicest. No love like Christian, or no hate like Christian love, right?
Yep, we love it all.
Number 7 is Sarah from The Descent.
Okay.
So after getting stuck in an unknown cave, Sarah and her friends encounter a group of creatures that feed on humans called crawlers. Story starts off with a grieving Sarah who is taken on a spelunking adventure by her friends in order to cheer her up. However, the film takes a turn when Sarah's friend Juno reveals that she leads them to an unknown cave in order to further enhance the thrill of the adventure. But yeah, this is another really, really good movie.
It is. I totally forgot about it, to be honest.
Yeah, I know, right? Yeah, I was like a huge fan of it when it first came out, and then I didn't watch it forever, and then I did it for a review, like, I don't know, sometime somewhat recently.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh yeah, this movie is really fucking good.
Yeah.
And with the exception of like the dude at the beginning, it's all women like the whole time. So
Yeah. Yeah, and you don't see that too much.
no. So yeah, hell yeah. Number 6 is Amelia from the Babadook. Have you seen the Babadook?
I did, and honestly, I was disappointed.
Same.
I felt like everyone had hyped it up to be like the scariest thing of the year, and I watched it, and I was like, am I supposed to be scared?
Am I the problem?
Right, like, or am I fucked? Like, am I just like, am I numb to this? Like,
Right.
because like I didn't think it was that great.
Yeah,
It wasn't bad. It just wasn't. It didn't hit.
Yeah, no. The first time I watched it, I felt the same way. Like it wasn't bad, and there was some decent stuff in it.
Yeah, a few
But, like,
jump scares.
Yeah, and like the overall like feel of it was creepy. But the little boy drove me fucking nuts.
Yeah.
And like I think he's supposed to, but at the same time, like enough's enough.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, and then the ending, I was like, what?
Yeah, no.
Like-
The whole thing was a letdown. I honestly wanted to be afraid to walk up my steps, and if anything, I was walking up in the dark. Like I
Right.
just wasn't afraid at all watching that movie.
Yeah, I will say when I watched it a second time for the review, I did enjoy it more.
Okay.
But yeah, it was definitely a lot of disappointment on the first watch.
I think maybe all the hype
Yeah.
maybe was what the letdown was, because I was like prepared to be, scared. Kind of like Terrifier. Everyone like hyped up Terrifier 2.
Mhm.
I watched it. I was laughing the whole time.
Oh yeah.
I was like, this is hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, am I supposed to be like scared? Like, it
It
was just gore.
Yeah, no, I don't think I think Terrifier 2 was hyped to be just a really good movie, like fun, not like good, like
Yeah, but I feel like it was a
great movie, but-
letdown, because like people were like, oh, I puked. Like you heard like the
well,
reviews or
yeah,
whatever, and I'm like,
that's every movie.
yeah, I don't know. Maybe like I said, I feel like I just laugh at inappropriate like moments whenever I'm watching
Wow.
movies sometimes, and I'm just like, am I well?
Am I okay? But yeah, no, I love Terrifier 2, but it was. I mean, it's not scary. It's just
No, I felt like it was like a B-rated movie. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's meant to be scary, but it's not. It's more funny scary.
mhm.
I don't know.
Yeah. No, I feel you, and I think I mean that's kind of how Terrifier is. But yeah, the Babadook though it was overhyped to
Yeah.
be like this amazing thing, and like I said, now I do enjoy it, but that initial first watch was definitely a letdown.
Yeah, I wish they would just stop hyping movies up like that. Like, let me just
Yeah, I know,
let me
right?
let me just go in blind, and
Yeah,
I'll experience it myself.
yeah, I agree. So
Here's my
yep,
girl.
number 5 is Pearl. So yeah, Mia Goth, her performance as Pearl, the titular character of the film by Ty West, is one phenomenal portrayal of a villain origin story. So with my thoughts on X and Pearl, like I love X,
Yeah.
um, and when I heard that it was going to be a prequel about Pearl, I figured we would get like somewhat of a backstory,
Okay.
like because she's like fucking 100 years old in X, right?
Right.
And so I was like, okay, well, we're gonna like see what kind of fucked up shit she got into that led up to this point.
Right.
So when Pearl came out and it was literally takes place in like 1911, and we just get one short little story that nothing really crazy happens until like the end.
Yeah.
I was a little disappointed.
Sometimes though I love the build up. Like sometimes I feel like for like movies, like I feel like I need to have all that background
Mhm.
just to like for the chaos to really like feel like it's a snap.
Right. No, I mean, it makes sense. But I was just like, okay, we need another prequel now that fills in between the end of Pearl and the beginning of X, because that's still like 60 years.
I feel like we're gonna be very like Star Wars where we're just jumping back and forth
Yeah,
between
right.
like different eras.
Like episode 1 and then episode 4 and then 3 and
Right. And
9.
now I'm hoping that they do though, because then I'm gonna go back through and I'm gonna have a marathon
Mhm.
day, but I'm not gonna watch them in order. I'm gonna watch them in the timeline
Oh,
order.
there you go. Yeah. Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we are getting the third one, which is Maxine.
Okay, so they
which
are.
is, yeah, but that's a sequel to X.
Right,
So
because
that's going to be the Mia Goth's character from X is Maxine. So we're going to get
yeah, because where's
her
she go
story.
after the old lady dies?
Yeah, right. After after the end of X. So I think that's supposed to come out sometime next year.
Okay. Well, movie day.
So,
We'll watch
yeah,
it.
right. But yeah, I'm excited for that one. So number 4 is Danny from Midsummer. Have you seen Midsummer?
I have.
Okay.
Loved it.
Way too long.
It's a long movie, but I loved it. I don't know if it's just like it's such like you watch it, the first half is just like such a peaceful movie. You're just like,
Mhm.
oh, this is great. And then all of a sudden, like you're like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah. No, I like the movie, but yeah, it's like an hour too long. And like when it's like really good, it's really good. But I think I forget, I said this another time on another episode, but like her boyfriend in that movie looks just like Chris Pratt.
Oh, I never really thought about it,
Oh,
but
that's
now that you
all
say
yeah,
it,
that's all I noticed the whole time.
I mean, I'm not
So
mad about that.
I mean, it was just one of those things where I'm like,
You
he
can't.
looks so similar to Chris Pratt, and it's not Chris Pratt, and I
Yeah.
know it's not Chris Pratt, but I keep thinking it's Chris Pratt.
I love that's what you focused on, though.
Yeah, like it took me out of the movie.
I can
But
see
like
what you're
there's
saying.
yeah, but I like the whole story and like I said, there's some pretty gnarly scenes in there.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, like I really enjoyed that. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was just like I between Midsummer and Hereditary, because it's the same director, like I'll go Hereditary every day or every time.
Honestly, I did love Hereditary. I feel like Hereditary, like my mind's blown watching the whole
Mhm.
movie. My mind is just blown the whole time. Like it's like one thing after the other. Whether it's like the annoyance of the little girl,
Mhm.
and like honestly, when I first watched it, I thought the little girl was gonna be the killer. I was
Yeah,
like,
right?
this little bitch is a psycho. Like, you know what I mean? Like she was a nutcase, and honestly, I couldn't even feel bad for her because, like, I'm sure her life was hard,
Mhm.
but then it ends up being the freaking brother. I was like, I could never like, I don't want to like say it, but like she lost her head. You kept
Yeah.
going, dude. Like,
Yeah,
excuse me.
that whole movie is just a what the fuck
Yeah,
moment.
I feel like that was like the start of like the holy shit. Like it just kept on getting like more and more like, oh my god,
Yeah.
like
Yeah, I love that movie. Like it's
It's a
not
great
something I can
movie.
watch all the time, but yeah, I love
Oh
like
no, I can't
it's just
either.
ridiculous.
It's depressing.
It really is, yeah.
Like that whole movie, like I'm so depressed. Even at the end of the movie, I'm like, this is how it ends.
Yeah.
Like I was pissed.
Yeah, the ending threw me off a little bit, but yeah.
Yeah,
So number 3 is Clarice from Silence of the Lambs,
makes sense.
right? So yeah, we touched on that.
Yeah,
But yeah, portrayed by Jodie Foster, Clarice Starling is the main protagonist of the Silence of the Lambs. Starling's assigned to the task of interviewing the cannibal Hannibal Lecter in order to gain information that will aid in capturing a serial killer who is seemingly following Lecter's patterns. But yeah, again, amazing character.
Yeah,
Great
very
job
strong.
by Jodie Foster. Speaking of which, number
Hey,
2 is Annie from Hereditary.
honestly, Annie did annoy me a little bit though on that movie.
Yeah,
But I feel
but
like I'd be having a psychotic breakdown too if
oh my
I
god,
had all
yeah.
that shit going on.
Yeah, if you went out to the car to find that, yeah.
Right.
But and Toni Collette does, like, she's amazing and she does not get enough credit.
No,
Like
honestly though.
she's been in horror movies since like fucking The Sixth Sense. Like
True.
she's
Yeah.
been around a while, and she kills it every time.
She's kind of a badass whenever you
Oh
think
my
about
god,
it.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And it's not like a name that I ever like just pops to my mind as like horror, but like then I
Yeah,
see her in these roles and I'm just like, man, she's killing it. Like,
yeah, 'cause she does a lot of like comedy and
yeah.
other genres, but yeah, she's amazing in horror movies. So their number 1 is Adelaide from Us. Have you
That's their
seen
number.
Us?
No, actually, I've been told
Oh.
lots to watch it. I just haven't yet, but I feel like that's surprising that that's their first pick.
Mm-hmm. It is, but I can't say why. I don't want to spoil it.
I mean, I'm gonna watch it anyways, but
But no, I mean, I really really like this movie. The end, I won't say the very end because there's one particular scene that I really liked at the end. But like the kind of ending,
Mhm.
if you will, I wasn't a huge fan of.
Let down.
Yeah, like it doesn't make a whole, once it's explained what's going on, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
Ugh,
I'll put it that way.
that sucks.
But Lupita Nyong'o was fucking amazing in the movie. So, um,
I'm definitely
I
gonna
would
have
say,
to put that on my list to watch ASAP.
oh
Then.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, her performance is definitely. I would. I don't know if I put it number 1, but it's definitely up there. For
Yeah,
sure.
I mean, I've heard great things about the movie. It's just like one of those things where I just haven't gotten the opportunity to actually sit down and watch it.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
But yeah, when you get a chance, definitely check it out.
definitely.
But yeah, that's my thoughts on my favorites. You got anything else?
Honestly, I think we covered all the major topics and people that matter.
Yeah,
Like
for sure.
at least the ones that stick out the most, for sure.
Mm-hmm. And I guess Hocus decided to give us a break
Yeah,
at the end.
At the end.
At the end here. So again, I apologize for any dog sounds, but it happens.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's a wrap on this week's episode of Blood, Gore, and Ghouls. Be sure to follow us on all social media. Send us an email at bloodgoreandghoulspodcast@gmail.com. Oh, look who showed up. And all the links will be found in the show notes. But again, Brooke, thanks for coming over and hanging out.
This was a lot of fun. I hope I get to do it again.
Absolutely. But yeah, until next week, I've been your host, Ian Van Gool. Have a ghoulish week and stay safe out there.